and welcome back to my workshop journey. First of all, I have to start with an apology. The last video that I made, even I was ashamed of that. One or two comments have been to the effect that everybody could see my pain. It was a great ordeal, and no more so than yours who were watching my pain. I just have this mental block on trying to visualize things in 3D. Anyway, one of the suggestions came from my neighbour Tim when it comes to being able to visualize which sides are in and out. Here are the legs. And what the suggestion Tim made was just put masking tape all round. That means if it's got masking tape on it, it's an outside edge, therefore everything else is the one to be machined. So that's where I'm starting. I've set up the morticer and I'll show you that in a minute, and then we can start actually cutting these 24 mortices. Here we go then. Here's the first cut. It's a case of everything is aligned to the back marker that I put on the workpiece. I've just got to make sure now that as the bit comes down, it takes in this line here. Getting everything set up is the most nerve-wracking. There we go. Turn it on. There's the first hole, and it's perfectly in line with that line. Perfectly in line with that line. And what I like to do with mortices on the morticer is just take in both ends first, and then I can take my time, and it doesn't really matter where the bit goes, relatively speaking. There we go. Then just take out the middle bits. And there is the perfect first mortise, perfectly square to the end and to the side. That's how easy and quick it is, and because the depth was set using the depth gauge, that's totally repeatable now. So all it's a case now of is moving the workpiece along and cutting the rest of the mortices. And that's the first leg done, all 3 mortices, and the eagle-eyed among you will have noticed that 1, 2 are from the bottom side of here, that one is at the top. That's where I was making sure everything was in the correct place for the correct tenon based on last week's work, because I have miscut 1 or 2 of the tenons. Some of them are like this one, it's offset, it's the wrong side. Some of them needed to be adjusted slightly for size, but that's what I was doing last time, and that's why we've got that difference there. So those are the first 3, only another 21 to go. That's all of the mortices cut then, and that was a very quick and easy process to go through. One thing you'll notice though, from the second set of mortices that I cut, those were the first, those were the second, but because the 2 mortices are meeting in this top corner, as I cut this mortise, it breaks through into this one, so I've just got some clearing out to do of the loose stuff, but that's an easy job to do. And then all of the mortices are ready. I've already tested some of the tenons in the mortices that I've cut, and all's looking very well. The measuring and laying out that I did last week really has paid off. So that's as far as I'm going today. I'm just going to pack up now, and next off I think it's going to be panel raising, because one thing that I'm going to be doing, let me just get one of the panels. These are one of the panels that I cut some time ago, and these will be going at the top of the workpiece, and they will be going in between the 2 rails like that. They will be let in to the bottom of the rails, or the bottom of one, the top of the other, but they will also be let into the legs, so that there isn't any, any fresh air showing. So what I'm going to have to do first of all is raise the panels, then I'll know exactly how big the cut is going to have to be on the rails and on the legs. Now when it comes to cutting the rebate in the legs, in between these 2 mortise holes, what I'm going to have to do is be very careful that as I'm moving across the fence, I know where to start, where to finish. Because of that, and you'll have spotted it on the fence when I built it, was a top T-track. That is going to be for the two stops, one for this end, one for that end. I've still yet to make that stop, but in the process of doing that, I've got myself a nice piece of 3mm aluminium and 50mm that angle, 75 that angle. That is going to sit on the T-track, secured by two locking nuts. I've got a 300mm piece. That's so that I've got plenty to go at. I can make numerous things out of that one piece, but that will then be let into this piece of timber. This is going to be, well, this is the first piece, just so that I know what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. This is the face that will be against the fence. That's going to just be cut off at the top, so that the aluminium angle will sit somewhere like that. Then I'll be able to screw through the wood and the aluminium. I'll drill holes where I need to, so that nothing will move. There will be no movement of this, and this will be firmly clamped to the fence as well. So that's what I'm going to be doing next week, is actually panel raising. Now, I've not done a lot of this, and it's quite some time since I did any. So next week it will be a case of practice until I'm happy with how the cutter is moving and working, and then I can actually cut the actual work piece. That's for next week. Thanks ever so much for watching, and have a nice week.